Pickaxe.
Hello everyone and welcome to 0 Degrees, the podcast with no qualifications where we try and solve your complications. I'm Ravs and I'm joined by Harry. No Lids this week because she's off on a cruise or something like that. I don't know, I half read the group chat.
She's on a bloody cruise, Ravs.
Yeah.
I mean, the cheek of it. The absolute cheek of it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't,
living it up.
There's questions here. There's questions about horrible things here that we need to answer. We gotta talk about these things, and she's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's back on Monday and we're doing a podcast then, so we'll get the fun cruise stories then, but she's left us in the lurch to answer these weird questions.
What a bastard.
Yeah.
I mean, after last episode of the Jenkum chaos, I feel like we've got to go clean today.
Yeah.
We can only do a short one. We're on a short time period.
Yeah.
This may be a shorter episode than normal, but we promise that we will try and keep it clean. We apologise.
Yeah, we went from like wholesome, weird, nerdy MMO chat to like the most horrendous things in the world last week. We apologise. Wait, look.
I don't really know how it happened.
Yeah, it just kind of fucking happened. We got our nerdy game chat out of the way today. Me and Harry before the podcast spoke about Hades 2 for about 45 minutes.
Which is amazing, and if people have not played it, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, very good. Recommend. Big recommend.
Very good, very good. It is early access, but
yeah.
I think it's one of those early access games that feels like actually a full game already.
Yeah.
I'm already happy with my purchase.
I have cleared what's there right now, and I've got like about 20 hours in the game already, so it's pretty good.
Good games. Good. I like doing it.
Yeah.
We should do more game chat at the beginning of the pod.
Honestly,
I
we
feel like
should,
that's good. It might breed some questions about games.
I've been playing Abiotic Factor actually. It's been like an absolute blast.
What the fuck is that?
It's like this game. It's like a survival crafting game, except like imagine you're in Black Mesa. You know, like
wait, is this the game that Pedguin's obsessed with?
Yeah. And Hat Films have been playing it and stuff, and like we've a bunch of people have been playing it. It's popping off right now. It's really fun. It's like a survival crafting, but you're like trapped in a facility. But it's also a bit like secure, contain, protect. Like creepy anomalies, kind of a little Lethal Company like it's kind of like soft horror but goofy. It's honestly
everything I've seen, it doesn't look very serious.
Yeah.
It doesn't look scary.
Yeah, it's very like stylistic. It's not very scary.
It kind of looks more like what's Viscera Cleanup Duty?
Yeah.
Not that like you're doing that, but it has more that vibe to me.
Yeah, for sure. It's really goofy. It's really fun. Like I really rate it. Like it's so fun. Just like playing solo can be a bit scarier, but like playing with your homies, like it's so goofy. Like you can get on like office chairs and wheel around on them and stuff, and like there's like a weird co-worker that crawls around on all fours and asks you to feed him and stuff. It's so weird.
What the fuck?
I know.
That's so weird.
It's such a funny game.
I'm just looking at the trailer for it. Like I haven't actually watched that much. I just saw like a little bit of screenshots of it. Like, is it really popping off? Is this like the new Lethal Company?
It's different. It's not a Lethal Company like, but it definitely is like.
Do you play like a save? Do you play like how does it work?
Yeah, you can play like a save. You can have single player. You can host your own server that can have up to 6 people, and if you get a dedicated server, it can be up to 24, I believe. And
I see. Okay.
like playing with your mates is so fucking funny. Like it's just and there's so much like lore and cool stories there and stuff. I honestly think you'd love it. Seems like the type of thing you might even play with the Blebs or whatever as well. Like. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm deep in the Pokey Rogue hole now. Like, Pokey Rogue is amazing, so I feel like I've got to dig myself out of that.
Yeah.
That fucking addiction for a little bit.
I did one run on that and I thought it was pretty fun, but like I knew that you were going to go balls deep on that.
If you're just into nuzlocking and competitive Pokemon battling, I feel like it scratches both itches at once and is kind of it's kind of great. I feel like it's been really nice just looking at this game. I feel like we've been in such like a dry spell of online co-op games. Like I feel like just for years there's been like you would get like the odd one. And I feel like in the last 6 months, there have been maybe like 50 releases of like decent big online co-op games. I don't understand. Like, did everyone? I mean, like, where were these games during COVID?
I know.
Like, we had Among Us, and that was it. We lived on Among Us for a year.
Maybe these were born as like as COVID projects. Like people just like, oh my god, I wish I could play with my friends right now. You know what? I've got an idea. Let me make something.
Yeah, maybe we're seeing that kind of like all come out.
Yeah, which I honestly, we're eating good right now. Even non-co-op games. Last week we had Hades 2 drop at random, like no one expected. We had I think Indica came out as well. It's like this weird nun game was awesome. We had Animal Well from Donkey's Big Mode Publishing. come out, and that's apparently like some people are saying that's like indie game of the year.
Really?
For me, it's bilateral, but yeah, people are saying it's phenomenal. People are saying it's so good.
What this Metroidvania like platformer one?
Yeah, it's like this like puzzly platformer thing, cute art style. Like I think it's just actual solo dev. Like it's a really
nice.
Cool game. We had Cryptmaster, which is honestly one of the fucking funniest games I've ever played, and I think you'd love it as well. It's like. This
game.
It's like the Wordle Dungeon Explorer. Like you get rezzed by a necromancer, and you have to you have a little party of 4, and you have to like type words to attack and like discover new words and stuff. Like it's really
what the fuck?
It's really cool and funny game, and it's just like I love it.
Why is the art like this? I love it.
The art's so stylistic as well. Like, honestly, it's such a good time for games right now.
It really is. It's mental that also in the games industry, I feel like all I see from the games industry is just like mass layoffs. It's fucking, the whiplash is insane. Yeah.
That's all the big dogs. All the big companies are struggling. EA are considering putting adverts in their AAA games and stuff.
I mean,
and
who the fuck, I'm sorry, but fuck EA. Fuck them. I could honestly live the rest of my life never playing another EA title.
Yeah, it's annoying. I like Apex
I'd be sad
and
on
stuff,
Battlefield. I'd be sad on Battlefield. Removing my Battlefield from me would suck. But
yeah, they've got fun games, but man, they're fucking shit in the bed.
But bro, like BattleBit is better Battlefield.
Exactly, right?
And
that's like indie.
That was 3 lads.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in many ways it's over for big publishers. When people can just take like fun, innovative ideas and concepts born of other game genres and spit them out onto Steam, and everyone just goes, "This is sick." We all jump on it, and it's great. Like
absolutely. Like don't get me wrong. You're still going to get like absolute masterpieces out of big studios like God of War. Incredible.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get like polished, great single player games. I think that's where those companies shine. But in every other thing I've seen big companies try, like they try to make like a live service shooters and stuff. It's just, like even Helldivers. That's like the guys who did Magicka. Like, it's a pretty small team.
Helldivers I would describe them as still an indie developer.
I would say that they're pretty indie dev. Yeah, even though they had publishing from Sony. It's such another amazing success story of a like small team. I say small team, like an indie team. Making this big indie multiplayer hit. Like
the thing is, indie is such a useless word now. Like,
kind of is.
We've been chatting about it for years with our people who work on the Yoast Games publishing side, because Yoast Games and the games they publish are truly indie. That is like it is one developer. Do you know what I mean? Like it is maybe 2 developers, and then a publisher that employs no more than like 10 people. Like that is truly indie publishing. Devolver Digital is still counted as a an indie publisher. It's like,
and they're huge.
Devolver Digital have published like over 100 games at this point, and like are fucking enormous. Like, are they indie still? Like, or are we just lacking the vocabulary to describe?
I think Devolver is actually a pretty small team. Like,
really?
I don't think they're that huge. I might be wrong on that, but from what I've heard,
I thought they were pretty big.
I might be wrong.
They've got 100 employees.
100? Yeah, that's like quite a lot.
I'd say that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a lot
for a publisher.
Yeah,
it's weird because I think indie still is it's still a positive attribute, right? That we assign to games. Saying a game is indie gives it like the ability to get away with some stuff while also gaining some street cred. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And so I feel like that's where these publishers don't want to shake that word. They want to keep the word indie attached to them.
Yeah, I think that it kind of is like a good word, like you hear indie game.
It's a good word to have associated, yeah.
Yeah, it's either going to be garbage or it's going to be amazing. It still blows my mind that at one point Minecraft was an indie game.
Yeah, that's so true.
That was like the indie game, and now it's like this fucking giant corporate glorp.
I mean, but like even Stardew Valley, it's not as massive as Minecraft, but Stardew Valley is one of the biggest games. Terraria, some of the biggest games ever, like truly enormous games that just made by a single dude, like Terraria made by like a group of friends. Like
I honestly genuinely think a smaller team of people make better things because there's less people to like get held up in the command chain. There's less people that are there for like no reason other than the fact that like they got like nepoed into the job, you know, like they're just like people disagreeing and changing things because, you know, just a nightmare. Whereas like if it's a small team, they're like, this is what we want, this is what it is, they can communicate clearly, you don't have to send an email that someone might not read for 7 years.
Yeah, you know, like, I think the biggest trapping that AAA's for me fell into was they like artistically they all seem to have gone for this weird like how hyper fucking real, how many polygons are going into your eyeballs, look at the photorealistic textures, and it's just like the least interesting bit of gaming to me is being in a real world. It's like if I want to play a game, I want to go into a completely insane world that I've never seen before. I think Hades is like a great example of like, you know, wonderful art style that is no way hyper realistic, but like looks better than any game.
Man, the art
you can pick off the shelf in a shop. So like
Hades 1 and 2, the art style absolutely phenomenal. Like they absolutely nailed it, right down to the music as well. Oh my god, the music in those games incredible.
Yeah, it's honestly such an amazing game.
Yeah, really rate it. But like, you know, there is a time and place for the hyper realistic stuff. Like, you know, I'm going to bring him up again, Harry. Hideo Kojima, like Death Stranding is such a beautiful game.
I agree, but that's like that is it. I would say hyperrealism is only applicable in maybe like 1% of games, and those I would include his games in like where it's an experience. It's about atmosphere. The hyperrealism is evoking a different artistic feeling.
You don't need like super hyper realism in like a shooter game, in my opinion.
No,
like, I don't want like PTSD. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to fuck my brain up playing like a shooter that looks like real life.
But also, I want to escape. Like, I mean, I'd argue maybe like Armor is also the only other place where like hyperrealism is maybe required. Like, for either like artistic expression or for literally you are trying to copy the real world. But games like Assassin's Creed or whatever, you don't need to have them be hyperrealistic.
No, not at all.
It would honestly live a lot more to be a bit more cartoonish and a bit more expressive.
Honestly, yeah. Like the Demon's Souls PS5 remake, I was like, okay, that is like amazing because like all the armor looked really good, all the world looked fascinating. Like that's the type of game I think lends quite well to it. But like Assassin's Creed, I'm like, man, I think you could have gone a bit goofier with Assassin's Creed. Like, don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like just a lot of the time I look at like indie games and they've got such cool, interesting art styles that they're solving problems while also having a really cool art style, you know, that they don't know an artist, that they're trying to do this, you know, they're trying to save costs or whatever.
Like Inscription, oh my god, the art of that was awesome. Like the fact that it like goes through like 5 different art styles and like just the world design, the game design, it's so good. Like, and then you've got like, you know, Cryptmaster now and like Hades. There's such good art style in indie games.
I do feel like there is the Apex Legends look that everything is now vaguely going for. Maybe it's slightly inspired by like Riot's art style that everyone's vaguely mirroring. But there's like, and it's it also has the slight like Borderlands-y style, but there's just this specific weird style that every game studio is doing, and I just kind of fucking despise it. It's just like, it really turns me off. Like the slightly cel-shaded, slightly realistic. It's like we chose the cheapest idea for an art direction, which was real life but slightly cartoony. Like it just feels like it's just middle of the road.
I think that's okay I think that's good for a shooter though. Like I it's an exhausting art style, but it's good for a shooter. Like I said, I don't want like a turbo realistic one. I want to like actually be doing horrendous war crimes and make it like fuck my brain up, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And equally for like legibility, it's good. You know, simple shapes like when we played fucking Valorant, like you can at least see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, but I understand it is exhausting. It's an exhausting art style if every game is doing it. Like,
I feel like you know, there's so many shooters that just come out and they all look exactly the same because they all have this fucking art style. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's odd, eh?
Like all the battle royales just have it, and it's just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, cool, I guess. Yeah, those games have kind of died, though, eh?
Yeah, I mean, battle royale is battle royale as a genre dead?
I kind of feel so, like, I know Fortnite is still insanely popular, and like I fuck with about Fortnite, but even Fortnite is like, here's like rocket racing and like Rock Band and all that.
Fortnite's kind of gone. It's kind of gone 180. It was started as a tower defense game. And it feels like now it's going back to like, okay, it's not about battle royales anymore. Like you can do anything in it.
I honestly feel like they're going to make a better tower defense mode and put it on their like new list of games or whatever, like, you know, because they've got like Rocket Racing, Lego Fortnite, which is like pretty damn good. Like kids are eating good right now, man.
Yeah, these lucky little bastards.
Yeah, then the Pokemon company's just like refusing to innovate, and that's fun.
That's sad. Oh, look, we got Switch 2 coming. Switch 2
is coming, and they'll put out another game that looks exactly like fucking Arceus, you know.
Yeah, sad. But look, for all of the graphical like fuck ups, Pokemon are at least mechanically getting there slowly. Like Jesus Christ, these old Japanese guys are slowly turning around to just the smallest bits of qual. But we'll get there. I'm coping. I'm just coping the entire time with Pokemon.
It's blown my mind that they've not made like a Super Auto Pets or like an Auto Chess Pokemon game yet. Like that would do insanely well.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah,
I feel like the thing is, it probably all of the things take so long to come down the pipeline.
Yeah,
that we will see it, but it will be in 3 years time.
That's what I think it is. Like, you know, it's always such like glorp in my head. Like
it's just such slow reactions.
You got to send it to the other team, and then this team's got to approve it, and it's going to be sent to this guy, and then this manager needs to approve it, but he's away, and then like the head is like having a meeting about some other irrelevant thing somewhere else. Like, just all feels like a nightmare.
Wait, it's like the Pokemon IP is not owned by Nintendo or Game Freak or the Pokemon company. It's owned by it's owned by Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures, the company that owns Nintendo IP like majoritively.
Oh, wow.
So they all three of them have to agree on whatever they're going to do.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
I'm pretty sure they've like split it up slightly more. Of like Nintendo gets slightly more freedom to say on like some bits of it, and Creatures get some bits to say on like the card game stuff. But like just fucking actually, and like any of these massive IPs are all owned by like multi-stake shares, and so just like in the same way that Yu-Gi-Oh is split up between the card game, the anime, and the games. And all three of them have to agree on different, things. It's a nightmare.
That's a great one, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, it's a really interesting decision. But like in the same way, I guess Marvel Comics is probably a similar one. I don't know enough about it, but I'd imagine.
Have you seen this new Marvel like Overwatch game? And they have this there's like a Marvel Overwatch type thing coming out.
No. What's it called?
Yeah, it's Marvel. Oh no, what's it called?
Marvel Rivals.
Marvel Rivals. Yeah, it looks like Overwatch, but it's like Marvel heroes and stuff. And everyone's like, "This looks so good, though." And I'm like, their contract to sign up for the beta made it so that you couldn't speak negatively about their game in any manner. Like
wait,
it was,
what?
Yeah, that's the contract. Look up the Marvel Rivals contract to read more about it. But yeah, there's like this contract they wanted creators to sign where you couldn't shit on the game. And I'm also getting...
it was a non-disparagement?
Yeah, non-disparaging thing. But also, there is... I'm getting, like, warning bells for this game a little bit, where I'm like, I feel like this is going to be the type of game, like, kind of the way, like, old MOBAs used to run, like, oh, Iron Man's going to come out next week, and he's going to cost 16,000 gems, and he's going to be really overpowered.
It smells of mobile game format, like...
Yeah, like, he's going to cost 16,000 iron bucks.
This game has the art style that I literally bitched about. It literally looks like every other fucking shooter that is being made right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fucking mess.
Yeah, I would probably hard pass on that.
I think I'll probably play it, but like, I don't think I'm gonna go balls to the wall on it.
Why have they made them? My biggest criticism is all the characters just look so fucking weird.
Yeah, they do look a bit goofy. Like I'm looking at a gif of Spider-Man right now, and he just looks way fucking odd.
He's all butt.
He's like 90% ass. Which nothing wrong with that. But
who is this blonde lady? I don't even recognize it. Who's she? With a sword.
I don't know, but there's Squirrel Girl and stuff. They're getting like all their little niche characters in.
The raccoon, is that the raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon. I think
he doesn't look anything like Rocket. What happened? He died.
I guess they're like they want to separate it from the thingy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it.
Apparently that blonde lady's called Magic with a K.
Who the fuck is that?
I have absolutely no idea, man. Like maybe it's like a Magic Marvel.
I'm Googling as well. Who the fuck is she?
Ilyana Rasputin is her name.
It's for the Russians.
Yeah.
It's for the Russians.
She's in X-Men. She's in the X-Men comics. Okay.
Apparently Anna Taylor-Joy is playing her or played her.
Oh, okay.
So
in the New Mutants or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with Marvel anymore, man.
I don't know. I'm glad I was never that invested, and now it just feels like a fucking fire that's happening over there that I don't have to look at.
It feels very nice to have dipped on caring about Disney, Star Wars, Marvel. Like I'll come in for like, oh, Daredevil, I'll watch that, but like that's Doctor Strange, I'll probably go see that. Spidey, man, he's cool, but like everything else, I'm just like, eh.
I do feel like the kind of apathy towards being attached to these big series, just the burningness of getting burnt on Game of Thrones. I just feel like it's not worth it. I feel like I don't want to get attached to these mega.
No, I don't
these
really.
mega IPs anymore.
No, it's a strange one.
I feel like it's not worth it.
I think apathy is the right word. I feel so like disinterested and just so like towards anything I hear about these companies now. It's like which I like. I don't know. Maybe I think it's maybe a good thing that we're like.
Yeah, I think it's good.
As a culture or generation or whatever, just being a bit like, you know.
Like, do you reckon our feeling is like common? Do you reckon most people feel like that and just kind of don't give a shit about the main? It's not to be a hipster. Like it's not like I'm not like hating on the mainstream for the sake of it.
I kind of feel like that like it's the scene in The Simpsons where Homer's being like force fed donuts. I feel like they've force fed me so much that I'm like I'm so glad I'm away from it now. Like I don't want a donut again. I'm like.
Fuck, actually, is it just we're getting older and we're stopping being the target demographic?
I think that could be it. I mean, are we just growing out of the demographic? I'm genuinely curious about this. Like, listeners,
I want to know what people think.
Give us your opinions, actually. Like, are we just getting old, or is this like a general consensus? Like, I feel like the people I talk to, it's a general consensus. But maybe
culture
it's
just feels
aging.
cheaper. It just feels cheaper and shitter nowadays. And maybe that is just like sweet nostalgia.
Yeah, and this isn't just Disney. This is like the Star Wars, which is also Disney, but like Marvel, which is also Disney. But you know what I mean? Like a lot of this,
there's all fucking Disney shit.
A lot of the big things, I'm just like kind of feel a bit disinterested in. Really,
I feel the same way about it with games. I feel like it used to be. Like I remember when the first Assassin's Creed came out. And I was like, this looks fucking amazing. It was so cool.
Oh my God, same. I was so into it.
I was like, that is, I was like, this is incredible.
Man.
I was actually the first game I bought an Xbox for. Like, the first game I got an Xbox 360 for was to play Assassin's Creed. And I was like, oh my God, this is sick, this is sick. I don't know the last time I've looked at a AAA game and felt that way.
Yeah, I guess I just want to consume less guff, and I kind of want to play something that makes me go, oh, that was like really artistic, that was beautiful, or like something that makes me think like on a deeper fucking level, that rather than just like a popcorn movie or whatever, like. True,
maybe we're looking for different experiences out of our games now.
Yeah, genuinely, like I want fucking art, bro.
True.
I want it feels like good shit.
But indie devs or I want to play Fun Times with Friends.
Yeah, that is it.
Or I want to play like gacha, like fucking roguelike brain stimming without having to pay monetary fee every 10 seconds.
Yeah, oh my God, like a roguelike is just like free brain stem. Like, why are you playing a gacha game when you could play a roguelike? Like, you know what I mean?
Like I think roguelikes in some ways are broken gaming for me. Of just nothing will make me feel as good as playing roguelikes.
Yeah, I fucking love it. Like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to get in the shop this time or whatever, and you go in and it's free random items. Like, oh, I got that really cool one.
Yeah, or fist through monitor. I didn't get any of them. Restart run.
But it didn't cost me $7,000. Like, I think like some people are going to be like, oh, Genshin Impact's so good or whatever. I'm like, and yeah, I can't deny it's kind of a fun game. I've tried it before, but like, it's so predatory. I hate that. Like,
wait, I've never played Genshin. I've
imagine just Breath of the Wild, but with like waifus and husbandos, except like they are trying to get you to get your credit card out to get like a 5-star big titty wife.
Wait, I thought it was an MMO. Is it not an MMO?
It's kind of an MMO. I think you can play it with other people and stuff.
Okay.
Like, but you can play it also completely solo.
And so what? You have to buy the heroes.
Yeah, you get like traits. Like, it's like new waifus arrived, and like they're like different star ratings, and you like I think you can level them up by having multiple of them. So it encourages you to buy loot crates that have the waifus in it or different weapons and stuff. It's insanely. It feels so predatory to me. Like
that is fucked. I didn't know that. That is fucking. That's fucked.
It's like, oh, but I really want the fucking big waifu. You know, like she's new and she's 5 stars, therefore she must be amazing. God. And like, yeah.
Oh my god. I'm so cautious about even buying games, let alone like spending extra money on games. That concept is fucking insane to me.
Yeah, it's a bit mad. And I know I'm a fucking sucker, dude. I'm who they want playing their games. Like, because I will buy loot crates. I will buy that stuff. Like, I like the feeling of opening that shit up. Like, you know, it's like, thank God for roguelikes, because if there wasn't roguelikes, I'd be way worse. Like, I'm susceptible to advertising and stuff. Like,
I was just pasting a target himself. I have a credit card and I will buy your shite.
Basically, yes. Like, I know my own flaw, and like, yeah, if there's a cool skin, I want it, man. Like, you know,
fuck's sake.
It's all about the drip. Like Dark Souls, drip Souls. Like, I need to be drippy. You know,
yeah, but
MMOs,
in that game you can get everything.
Drippy.
Yeah, but you can.
Yeah.
You should play games where you can get drippy and it doesn't cost IRL money. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right, we have fucking managed to talk about games. We literally said we were not going to talk about games, and now we've talked about games for half an hour.
Yeah, well,
it's time. You know it's time for Jenkum chat. It's time.
No, it's not Jenkum chat. No, we can't do
it. We have to do a question. Okay, let's grab at least one question.
I will say we'll do a question. We've got to run. Yeah, like,
sorry, closing
please send us in some non-fucking weird questions, please. Everything lately has been sex. Okay,
send us in your gaming questions, like gaming-related questions. I want to,
or even just like, my gran did this. Help, you know. How do I tell my gran her cookies suck or something? Like, you know, give us some problems, man. We get it. We've talked some fucked up shit before, but goddamn, please. Werewolf man woes. Sorry, but no pegging or pants here. Thank fuck. About 3 months ago, I sat down outside my local Tesco and an older gent dropped himself down beside me, only to start talking about his run-in with a werewolf in Scotland after a bit of a casual conversation. I'm a folklore scholar, so what luck, right? I'd been seeing him for 2 months on and off since at the same spot to talk about it, for obvious reasons. Eventually, he even showed me the large bite mark on his ribs. Looked real, honestly. Apparently, he was sprung in his 30s and got away. Anyway, point is, about 3 months back, he told me him and his friend were going to track down the beast at long last. I haven't seen him since.
No fucking way.
Do you think the werewolf got him? Was he mad? Or have I just been ghosted by my local oddity? Also, do you have any idea how I could find the mysterious man or his beast-bitten bones?
Wow.
Scottish werewolf. I've never heard of this in my life.
I say, is there like a famous Scottish werewolf?
I don't know.
You got Nessie? Have you got a werewolf? Do you have wolves? Scotland has wolves. Aren't we reintroducing them? You have wolves up there, don't you?
I think we do. I don't know how the reintroduction is going. Let's see. Scottish wolves. Are we still getting them? Wolfpack released in the Scottish Highlands. Yeah, we've got 6 wolves that have just been released 9 years ago.
Okay, and the fact there's no later news on it doesn't seem great, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going. Maybe there's some wolves, you know, kicking around. Scottish werewolf?
I mean, wolves roam like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of miles, don't they? Like they need so much space.
Wolver, Wulver, is a kind of wolf-like humanoid creature in the folklore of the Shetland Islands of Scotland.
Oh my god, we've been tricked into talking about furries, Ravs. This is fucking furry
no,
chat.
that's what they've done, dude. They've got us going.
He looks great though. He looks cool. The first result for Scotland Wolver is like a sad kind of wolf man sat fishing. It's a lovely drawing.
Yeah, I actually really like that.
That's a really cool fucking drawing.
Yeah.
Wait. So, do you not know about Wolver? Is he not an infamous one?
I've not really heard of this. It's up in the Shetlands, it's like a bit more Highlandy or Islandy, which is, I was in Glasgow. Nobody was talking about that
fair.
shit.
We're not finding any werewolves down there.
Yeah. But I'm like picturing this guy's meeting outside an Asda to talk about this shit, and like maybe a dog's just bit this guy and he's a bit, loopy or whatever. I don't know.
Bit loopy? What lupus? Like a wolf?
Oh shit!
I'm connecting the dots, Raz. I'm connecting the fucking dots.
No, I was just thinking like, maybe this guy's fucking a bit mental.
Sometimes I think about all these people who believe in like dumbass conspiracy theories. Just like the idiots online who you just see like copy pasting some real fucking idiotic shit. And I'm like, I wish I was so stupid to believe that stuff. I wish I was stupid enough to believe this. Like, I really want to believe in fantastical creatures.
Dude, like, I genuinely wish we lived in, like, a D&D type world where, like, gods were fucking real. Like, there were, like, weird things out in the forest and shit. Like, I'd love that shit, But, like, we just don't live in that fucking world.
So you would go D&D. What would you like? You got to choose one. Like, is it ancient Greek mythology? Is it like Roman mythology? Is it like medieval kind of Gaelic and Saxon mythology? Is it like, I don't know, Shakespearean fantastical mythology?
I don't know. Like,
where are you gonna go?
Like, Norse and Greek are the most interesting mythologies to me.
Or like D&D, like I guess you can go fantasy, high fantasy or low fantasy as well.
I can't remember what the one is, the nerdier one. High fantasy is a lot nerdier, right?
High fantasy is like you have more like elves that have intelligence, and maybe they've like kind of had an industrial revolution with magic.
Yeah, and like
low fantasy is like Dark Souls, where it's like peasants, grittiness. Usually, a troll comes down from the mountain and squashes you once every 7 years, and then
I kind of love both of them, really.
Low fantasy is a lot more depressing usually, and odds for survival are low, but it's kind of real. I kind of
like it though. It's kind of real. Honestly, I kind of love both. Like, I'd be happy with that. But like, even in like a D&D, like we live in like a nice town or whatever. Oh no, the werewolf of the forest has come and he killed like 4 people, and that's terrifying. I wish. I don't
but
wish
don't worry,
that
the
4 people
heroic
died.
knights are here, and they're angels.
Exactly. And like, he's a paladin of God, and he smote them down, and I saw like the holy light from his sword and shit. I love all that shit.
Has anyone done like a The Boys style kind of fantasy thing where it's the D&D tropes,
so good,
but the reverse, where like it's the heroic knights are all fucking dickheads, and actually the witches and the goblins are all kind of like great loving people.
Oh, that'd be fucking great.
I feel like that rings a bell. Maybe someone has done something like that. That sounds really funny.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
It sounds more like actually how it would be. Do you know what I mean? Like the guards turn up with their fucking paladin powers, and they're just like, oh, brilliant, Dave's here with his fucking righteous hammer again to just bonk someone. Brilliant.
Turns out he's a bit of a fucking knob. He's like Homelander cunt.
Yeah. And it's like, what, the goblin's just trying to steal some fucking bread because he's starving, and he's got 20 children.
We as humans are making them live in a fucking dank cave, and like they're like, Gary gets a quest, they'll kill 5 of them. You know what I mean? Like,
he gets slaughtered every week from a new adventurer.
Yeah. That would be such an interesting show. But but getting back to the thing, like, I would genuinely love it if this shit was real, but it just isn't. I can't entertain that. I get that you do like folklore scholar or whatever, but like, it's just not a thing, man. I don't think so. Obviously there's a lot of things we haven't discovered in the world. I mean, it could be weirdly possible, but
does being bitten by a werewolf not mean you turn into a werewolf? I can't remember how that works.
I thought that's how that worked, right? That's what I thought.
So is this guy not a werewolf? If he got bitten by a werewolf, does that not mean he's a werewolf?
But this guy's saying, like, you know, like, oh, look at this bite I've got. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's a big bite, but dude probably just got fucking bit by a dog, man.
Yeah,
you know?
Probably, yeah.
Like,
I mean, you are just, like, sitting outside a Tesco's chatting with a crazy guy, which is fun. You know, it's entertaining. It's probably also not good to just, like, enforce his delusions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you might be you might be the reason this guy went out to the woods to hunt it, and like, you know,
because you spent 3 months telling him that this is all real.
Yeah, and like he believes it because he's chatting to you about it, and he wants to give you more stories.
He's like, this guy I met at Tesco's. He says it's real. I'm going back to Scotland, just like some fucking estate in Glasgow to get bitten by another dog.
Yeah. He's getting bit in someone's back garden.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, I feel like be careful. Just validating the hallucinations of a crazy person.
And if you want to hunt the woods that he said he was going to for bones, good luck. But like,
I think you should do that. I think that sounds fine.
But also, like, maybe you might find like a dead body. That's just the terrifying prospect.
That's like doing community service. You know.
I guess so, but it'd be sad if it was like your weird mate from Tesco.
Yeah, but fucking no one else is gonna find him. I think go and find him and let us know what you find.
Yeah,
love.
Be careful though.
Be careful.
What if there is like we have to weirdly entertain the possibility that there could be some weird like Scottish man wolf, you know?
Oh no, I meant be careful with the crazy guy. Like it was
also
like
the crazy guy.
I feel like I'm more scared for the crazy guy than the 1% chance, if there's even that there's a werewolf in
there's
Scotland.
A horror movie here that this guy's trying to bait you into the woods, and you find him and he's wearing like a wolf head and he's like covered in fur. You know what I mean? He's got like a fucking machete. Like, there's a horror movie out there that was like that probably. Is. You know what I mean?
Be careful of the Tesco werewolf. That's fucked.
Fucking hell. Every little yelps.
Oh no. Oh, at least it's not every little yips or yips or whatever the fuck they say.
That's the porn parody.
That's the full parody. I've done it. There we go.
Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. Well, good luck on your quest to Scotland, werewolf lover.
Yeah, you got this in the bag. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. I'm certain you won't get murdered by this random Tesco's nutter.
Yeah.
Jesus. Right, we're gonna have to wrap it up there, but we're gonna go do a little quick "Am I the Asshole?"
Yeah. We will see you on patreon.com/shieldagrees if you fancy supporting the podcast, listen to a fun little Am I the Asshole?
Yes.
Liz should be back next week.
Yes, she should be back. She'll get her back in. She'll have to be filled in of all the terrible chat we've had.
And hear all about this cruise or wherever the hell they're on. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea, so we'll see. We'll find out next time.
On 0 Degrees. Goodbye.